this is Joanna. In today's video, I am going to talk to you about some pros and cons of living in Raleigh, North Carolina, or relocating to Raleigh, North Carolina. So stay tuned. And welcome back. Again, Joanna with the Prosperous Agency. As I have shared with you before, we are going to go over some pros and cons of living in this area, Greater Triangle area, Raleigh focused, or relocating to Raleigh, North Carolina. Speaking of which, if you are considering moving here, please DM me, email me, text me, whatever works. My information is going to be on the screen, and so feel free to reach out to me. I love hearing from you, and I myself moved here way back in 2011 from Los Angeles. And before then, we moved from Europe. So we totally understand what it takes to relocate. We totally understand the difference in living in LA, Europe, versus Raleigh, North Carolina. So that being said, feel free to subscribe, click on that button, click on the other bell button next to it, and let's dive straight in. The first thing that I'm going to start sharing with you is the fact that this is not scripted. As you can see, I am a total geek like that, right? So this is not pre-written, blah, blah, blah. I am looking at data and I am sharing it with you just as I would share it with my family, just because I think it's super important when you are relocating to know what you are getting yourself into. So I am going to start with number one. This is something that I put under the cons chapter. However, I guess from some perspectives, it could be a good thing. From others, it's like, well, I'm not sure. So let's just say, just for today's exercise purpose, that you are making $150,000 per year. I don't care how much you make. You can go on smartasset.com and you can see and you can compare. But just for the purpose of today's video, I'm going to consider that you are a family of four. Maybe let's say you're a millennial, right? And you are considering coming to Raleigh. What is it that you can afford? So if you look at smartasset.com, you are going to notice that they are taking in consideration living expenses, housing, food, taxes, education, and healthcare, right? So the negative thing is this. I'm going to touch LA and San Francisco later, right? Because we do have a lot of relo from those areas and from New York and New Jersey. Obviously, everybody knows that taxes there are super high. Cost of living is a little bit more pricey. So people are curious to compare. But let's just say you don't live in LA or in New York or in New Jersey or in Miami. Let's just say you live in Dallas, Texas. The bad news is that the cost of living in Raleigh, North Carolina is going to be 6% higher than in Dallas, 1% higher than, let's say, Tampa, Florida, and 3% higher than in Idaho City. When you are looking at San Francisco and LA, you're looking at like 26% higher. San Francisco, about 10% higher. LA, not much higher than, I would have thought. And let me just do the exercise with you right now here. So if I'm looking at, for example, like I'm in Cary, right? So which is super close to Raleigh, by the way. So if I were to compare Cary, North Carolina to Austin, Texas, let's just see. Actually, Austin, Texas is 2% lower than Cary, North Carolina, which is super surprising. So you only need to earn $147,647 in order to live just as if you were to live here in Cary at $150,000K. So that's pretty good news, right? So looking at overall costs, it's going to cost more living in Raleigh than in other areas of the US. But if you're coming from LA, San Francisco, New York, let's just say New York real quick here, New York, and I'm not gonna go into details, but I'm super curious. So, New York is just like San Francisco, 26% higher than Cary, North Carolina. So you actually need to make about $190,000, almost $190,000 to live in New York as you were to live here in the Cary, Raleigh area, okay? So this is the first thing that I'm going to touch. The good thing that I'm going to touch on, so this is the second thing, the pro is the thriving economy that we are seeing here. So going back to millennials, again, this is not for millennials, right? But just to give you a perspective, a lot of people are relocating here. Why are they relocating? Because Apple is bringing them, Microsoft, all the other companies, right? And so I am 41, full disclosure, right? And to me, certain things are important. For you, other things might be important, but thriving economy, this is the proof right here. Wallet Hub actually named the Raleigh-Durham area one of the best cities to start a career. What is it that they looked at? They looked at the starting salary, they looked at rate of job growth, they looked at median income, they looked at retirement plans, they looked at just generally, and remember, retirement plans that are offered by your employees. So if you are considering starting a career here, this is amazing, you guys. So actually, out of 182 big cities from US, Raleigh ranked number 17 and Durham ranked number 9, which says a lot about the area, right? Another good area, another con is allergies. Pollen and allergies. This is something that I have to say is just kind of a, it's a hit and miss because everybody's different, right? So I don't have allergies. My husband has a little bit, my son has none. My daughter though started developing some allergies since we moved from Los Angeles, which is like she blows her nose. Obviously, during the spring, it's bad. But let me give you the geeky information, okay? So North Carolina is actually rated as having some of the highest allergy rates in the United States, where you're looking at a measurement from 9 to 7 to 12, okay? So just all of this research, I just put it into the easy, understandable for everyone data here. Raleigh is around 10.7, right? So oak, sweet gum, birch trees are the main allergens. And did you know that the third pollen season in North Carolina actually lasts from August till frost? Various weeds cause allergies, but ragweed is the worst. I mean, I didn't even hear anything about ragweed before moving to North Carolina, so I do not know anything about this, but it is supposed to be the okay? Number 4 that is like a super favorite for me is amazing food. For all of you foodies out there, very interesting stuff. Did you know that Brewery Bavana was named as one of the hottest restaurants or coolest in the world by Forbes? I didn't know that. I actually have to research it. Shame on me. How did I not know that? I tried it, it's amazing, but I didn't know this stat. Downtown Raleigh provides a wide variety of amazing culinary experiences. Top of my favorite restaurants, and just not only mine, but just generally, are Second Empire Restaurant and Tavern, Saint Jacques, Café Luna, Piramanda, and the cool fact that I learned again was that the history of North Carolina barbecue dates back to a time before the European settlers reached the US. I didn't know that. And the one restaurant that has the true North Carolina barbecue is called The Pit, P-I-T, for all of you barbecue lovers, okay? Let's move from the amazing food to a sort of a con, I mean, if you are young and if you want nightlife, I don't know if you're gonna be bored or not. That is up to your preference, but I was just a little bit bored when we came here. So we had our 4-year-old, I wanted more action. We were used to California, bars, music, concerts, Hollywood Bowl, wine, cheese, the whole thing. So we had to adjust to a slower pace. Now, mind you, since 2011 to 2021, now with COVID, it's a little bit different, but things changed and there's absolutely much more. So there's a lot of festivals, a lot of music, and so much more than we have experienced when we moved. But if you love changing bars, clubs, if you love going out, every weekend. And if you want a lot of variety, let's just face it, you're not in New York, you're not in Miami, you're not in LA. I don't even know if you can compare it to Austin or, you know, some of the cool places. You might want to go to New Orleans or to other places to kind of feel that variety bug. My opinion, do not kill the messenger, okay? So it's just my opinion. That's my personal opinion on the coolest clubs in Raleigh. A good part though, a good thing is, which is, I don't know, number 5, 6, whatever it is sports. Sports are super important in North Carolina. So if you're a sport lover, I probably would assume that you have heard about the NHL Hurricanes, right? The hockey team. I don't know though if you know that Raleigh was named the hottest sports city, among the hottest sports cities by Sports Travel magazine. And also in 2011, the stock car racing became North Carolina official state sport. I had no clue. Again, shame on me. And let's not forget about the college basketball, the NC State Wolfpack, right? So kind of everybody knows about the NHL Hurricanes, Wolfpack. If you're a fan, there's no way you're not watching that. All right, another positive, as you can see, I have another video on YouTube and there's a lot of negatives, well, maybe not a lot, but more. And a lot of people were attacking me. But again, it's all a matter of how you interpret things and how you look at things. So you could say, hey, there's no traffic compared to LA. And some people may say, yeah, there's a lot of traffic compared to I don't know where, other areas, right, in South Carolina or North Carolina. Or you could say, well, there is nightlife, but if you're moving from a place that doesn't have any, right? So it's all a matter of perception, right? When it comes to universities though, and this is I guess as a mom and as a 41-year-old woman, I find that as a major factor for attracting people from all over the world, regardless of the age, right? So you have great universities, NC State, Meredith College, Shaw University, Living Arts College. I'm not going to Duke and all of that, so I'm just speaking on Raleigh right now. So there's so much to choose from. And going back to schools, as a parent, you have Montessori, charter, magnet schools, great Wake County schools. So it's important for families to know that they have great options for their children. And I can assure you that most of the families are going to look at ratings. It's just what we do as parents, right? We want to make sure that the school matches our children's personality and they can learn whatever they are actually passionate about, okay? So this is one thing, and I will end with the last thing, which is a negative, which compared to other states is a negative, I should say, right? So purchasing a house in North Carolina, it can be very stressful. It can be very stressful from a perspective of, first of all, the market is insane. We have 66.5% less inventory compared to last year, and every month the pricing is increasing. As most of you know, builders, new construction, the lumber has increased, 300% more. They can barely afford to build a house. The pricing of the same home that was $500,000 6 months ago right now is about $650,000 or so, depending on the area, right? There's a lot of builders out there, but things changed, as in you might be put on a wait list for some builders. Some might do some pre-sales, but it's super rare right now just because they don't know what's gonna happen. Some of them release like 2 or 3 lots at a time. Some of them might say, you know what, we're not gonna release lots. We're just going to sell you the home once it's in pre-drywall. A lot of changes. So you need to hire a great realtor to tell you what's going on, to educate you. When it comes to resale, which is, I'm gonna drop the bomb, bam, right there. Resale is stressing the out of a lot of people, okay? Why? Because while in other states you could be placing a lot of offers and you can walk away, and if you're under contract, maybe lose a couple of $100, if you go under contract in North Carolina, you will be losing 20, 30, 40, 50K if you have that much money to put down in due diligence fees. So always ask about due diligence fee. What is it that you have to bring to closing? Always look at how much money do you have in your account, because regardless of the price point of the home that you're interested in, that money is almost like a given. Like, we haven't had anything in the last 3 months where we had to, or where we wrote $5,000 or $10,000. Literally, people are losing offers every single day, one after another. You have to hire an agent that is experienced and that is going to explain the process. And unfortunately, I'm sorry, if you are a first-time home buyer, it's such a tough market, you guys. It's not impossible, right? It's not impossible. I'm not saying if the house is $350, you can get it at $355, but your chances are very low right now because there's a lot of demand. There's no inventory, like I said. So there's like 500 people from California, from New York, from Miami, from New Jersey that don't want to have those taxes anymore, that want to invest here before actually, Apple opens the campus and before they bring 10 million other people, I'm just saying a number, that have salaries starting at $185,000. And so you are competing with people that have money, that have cash, because they sell their homes back in all these huge cities for a lot of money. So that being said, hiring a real estate agent that understands the market and can advise you from the get-go in the right direction is huge. Now, you could be talking to agents that are going to put you in their car and they're going to be like, sure, we're going to help you. And they will write 10,000 offers and you will never know why you didn't get the house. That is not the goal. The goal is to get you educated, to first determine whether or not you want to move here, to first determine whether or not you can put up with the allergies, whatever the case is. There's a lot of things that are happening here right now. But the main thing is, it's still and will probably be one of the top places to move in the country. You can still afford to buy something in the 350, 360. Now that Barbara Corcoran, the Shark Tank woman, I did the video about that, stated that Raleigh is still affordable. People are just like coming in like flies to buy something that's still rentable. And it's a good investment because the pricing is going to increase, right? So you need to be smart, be educated, be proactive, be fearless. Hire someone that is representing your best interest, that understands and studies the market. Even if they're geeks like me, let me be a geek. Just let me tell you the things the way they are. With that in mind, please subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions. We are all over the media, including TikTok. Like, literally, look at me. I do 1-minute quick videos on just tips on how to buy a house, how to sell a house. YouTube is right here. LinkedIn, connect with me. I'm everywhere. Ioana Nin with the Prosperous Agency, proud founder. I love this company and I love what we provide. We've helped hundreds of people sell, buy their home, family owned, very boutique and very focused on your best interest. This is how I feed my kids. I know it sounds awkward, but it is the reality, and I pride myself with the investment and the involvement and the energy that I put into every single transaction. So with that in mind, ciao, kisses, au revoir, Gesundheit. We speak a lot of languages here. That's a big pro for all of you guys. Take care. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe, bell, notification, email, text, whatever works for you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care. Ciao.